It's a major success for the Jammu and Kashmir police. A drone which came in late last night in the Jammu sector was shot down by the Jammu and Kashmir police. Now, apparently, there was real-time intelligence about drone movement. How did the police shoot down this drone? I'll get you much more on that story. We have Mukesh Singh, Additional Director General of the Jammu Police, joining me on the broadcast. But the fact is that this drone was carrying 5 kgs of an IED. Only the wires apparently had to be connected. What is extremely sinister is several drone sightings, and apparently this drone, the markings are fairly similar to the drone that was that's suspected to have been used in the Jammu airbase terror strike. Our Jammu bureau, Sunil Ji Bhatt, gets us more.
6 feet in diameter, 6 powerful rotors, rigged with 3 improvised explosive devices, remote controlled from just across the border in Pakistan and penetrating 8 kilometers into Indian territory. In a season of enemy drone scares in the forward areas of Jammu and Kashmir, what you're looking at is the single biggest drone to infiltrate our country so far. This heavy-duty hexacopter drone was shot down late on Thursday night by the Jammu and Kashmir police in the border Akhnur sector near Jammu. It was brought down with precision firing from a simple assault rifle, not any sophisticated anti-drone system.
कल रात हमें स्पेसिफिक इन्फॉर्मेशन मिली थी कि ड्रोन के ज़रिए किसी पेलोड को ड्रॉप किया जा रहा है अखनूर के एरिया में। वहाँ पे एक पुलिस की छोटी सी टीम गई और उन्होंने वहाँ पे घात लगाया। तो जब ड्रोन पेलोड को नीचे कर रहा था उस वक्त हमने उस पर फायरिंग की और ड्रोन को गिराने में हम कामयाब हो गए। ड्रोन के साथ आईडी एक थी जो 5 किलो तकरीबन की आईडी थी।
Drones this big can usually carry up to 10 kilograms of payload, a devastating prospect given how much explosive can be packed into such a weight bracket.
What you are seeing on this table is the proof of Pakistan's anti-India terror agenda. This drone was spotted post-midnight in Akhnur area. J&K police had a specific input, and acting on that, a major terror conspiracy was successfully foiled by the alert J&K policemen.
Not only is this the first terror drone that has been shot down since the drone attack on the Jammu Air Base on June 27th, this big drone is also significantly more capable than the smaller mini drones used in the Jammu attack. Here's how this new drone is a major step up from the earlier ones seen so far from Pakistan. While the smaller quadcopter drones are easy to fly for first-time users, the heavy drone shot down now is for professionals or industrial use and needs a professional to fly it. The two drones have comparable flight endurance, but that depends on their payload. The heavier drone shot down on Thursday night has a much larger weight carrying capacity and is also more expensive. Initial investigations suggest that this big drone has parts from China and Taiwan. Agencies are looking at whether Pakistan's Lashkar-e-Taiba or the Jaish-e-Mohammed could be the outfits deploying these drones.
जैश और लश्कर ये दो तंजीमें हैं जो ड्रोन के ज़रिए वेपन्स और आईडीज़ गिरा रही हैं, और 16 AK-47 पिछले 1.5 साल में जितनी भी ड्रोन सॉटीज़ आई हैं 16 AK-47 राइफ़ल बरामद हो चुके हैं, 3 M4 US मेड राइफ़ल्स बरामद हुए हैं, 34 पिस्टल बरामद हुए हैं, 15 ग्रेनेड बरामद हुए हैं और 18 आईडी जिसमें कि 15 छोटे आईडी और 3 बड़े आईडीज़ ये बरामद हो चुके हैं।
After the Jammu attack, the number of drone sightings has gone up drastically, and there have been several instances where the Army and Border Security Force troops have fired at them. The National Security Guard, in fact, had deployed an anti-drone system in the city, especially near the Air Force station after last month's attack. But the interception of this heavy-duty drone in Akhnur sends out a clear message that Pakistan has embraced small drone warfare and won't be stopping anytime soon. And worse, that with each interception, terror outfits are learning more and more about where the gaps really are. With Sunil Ji Bhatt in Akhnur, Jammu, and Kamaljit Sandhu in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Before I bring in India Today, Sunil Ji Bhatt and Kamaljit Kaur Sandhu for more on the story, I quickly want to cut across to Jammu and invite Mukesh Singh, Additional Director General of the Jammu Police, who's joining us live on the broadcast. Sir, many congratulations. It's a big success to have brought down a drone. What more can you tell us, sir? What kind of a drone was this? And how was it brought down despite the anti-drone systems? What weapon did you use to bring this down?
See, there have been instances in the past 1 year where drones have been used to drop weapons and IEDs. The latest one being the drone which dropped IED at the Indian Air Force Station. On this, we had our back-end teams working very hard on the intelligence inputs, looking for any information regarding drones or drone droppings. And yesterday, we had a specific information that a payload was being dropped at a particular location near Akhnur, where a drone would come and drop the payload, and somebody would come and receive the payload later on. On this specific information, we laid an ambush, and finally the drone arrived at around 1 a.m. Past midnight. And when it lowered to drop the payload, our boys who were sitting there in an ambush fired on the drone and were able to bring it down. This drone had a payload of an IED, which was around 5 kgs. We sent the drone for a preliminary examination by the experts who were available here, and they, after the examination, informed that this is a hexacopter. It has a weight of around 17 to 20 kgs and could carry a payload of around 10 to 15 kgs maximum. So this drone was on autopilot mode. It was fed with the GPS location where it had to drop the payload. There was a mechanism on the drone which could drop the payload and then cut off the strings to make the drone free, and the drone would automatically, on an autopilot mode, go back to the location where it was launched from. And this has been the case with most of the drones which have dropped payloads in the past 1 year. Yes.
Okay. So is this the handiwork of terrorists, or is this the handiwork of somebody far more professional? Could well be somebody in their deep state, because this kind of technology, sir, and this kind of expertise, do terrorists have it?
Two things I have to mention here. The initial information which we had was that Jaish was dropping a payload here. So yes, the initial information led to a terrorist group which was behind this. But the kind of expertise which was required to make the IED which was there, the IED was itself a very sophisticated one, and maybe some professionals behind the scenes were involved in making that IED. Besides that, the drone is also an assembled drone with parts from various parts of the world. And interestingly, that drone had a flight controller which had 2 GPS systems on it, guiding it to the precise location. And the GPS controller, interestingly, was of the same series which was of which a drone was earlier dropped at Kathua about a year back. So that makes it interesting, because it seems that there is a series of flight controllers of the same batch procured from across the border, and then used by the terrorist groups to launch payloads across the border towards India.
Sir, the point that you made about components from different countries, China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, is this normal, or is this an attempt to mislead or misguide investigations? Because if I may, post 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, the Yamaha motor on that dinghy boat used by Ajmal Amir Kassab and the other terrorists was traced back directly to a shop in Pakistan. That engine had been sold to Pakistan. So is this the new tactics being used? Use different components procured from different countries?
See, there are two different reasons for this. One is that the different components, yes, would try and mislead the investigating agencies towards different directions. That is definitely for sure. Secondly, these assembled drones don't adhere to the international guidelines, whereas the standard drones of standard companies have the basic principle of not going into a no-fly zone. But these assembled drones do not follow that protocol. And maybe that is the reason that they could enter the Jammu airport area and then could drop a payload earlier.
Okay. The fact that perhaps more than a dozen assault rifles, AK-47s, M4s, pistols, grenades have been dropped into our country in the past year plus. What is your appreciation, sir? Is the drone threat the biggest challenge we face in times to come? And do we have an effective strategy to counter it? Were we just very lucky that we were able to bring down this drone because of superior intelligence this time?
So there are two ways of looking at a drone threat. One is the physical challenge to a drone where you have a option of a soft kill and a hard kill, and this particular drone dropping was a hard kill where it was fired upon and it was dropped down. But the second part of looking at a drone strategy is that you take care of what happens to the payload after the drone drops the payload. So we were looking at both the aspects. We were also focusing at the overground workers who were picking up the payloads and taking to different locations, whether it is in the Kashmir Valley or in the Jammu area. So we were focusing on that, and that is how we were able to intercept at least around 25 to 30 drone sorties which took place in the past 1 year. And that was the result that around 20 AK-47 rifles and 34 pistols and 15 grenades and 18 IEDs were recovered so far. So that is how we were taking care of the part where the drone was dropping a payload and the payload was trying to reach the actual terrorists on ground, and we were intercepting it in between. The other part was definitely the hard kill and soft kill procedures which are in place at different locations. It would not be proper to disclose the correct the kind of measures which are there in place, but yes, they are in place and they are taking care of the drone problems.
Sir, before I let you go, if I may, the IED that was dropped at the Indian Air Force base at Jammu, the kind of explosives that were used, and the IED that you were able to recover from this drone incident, you said that this was fairly sophisticated. Sir, every terrorist leaves a signature. Are the signatures and the bomb maker in that case and this case similar, or is it too early to tell?
See, the two IEDs which were dropped, the present one and the one dropped at the Air Force station, are of a different type. The one at the Air Force station was a type of IED which would blast off at an impact. So that was a different kind of IED. This was an IED which was well packed. It was ready to be used, but it was not actually connected to the last mile. So this IED would actually be picked up by a receiver, and then it would be placed at whatever places or whatever location the mentors across the border would choose to. And therefore, the only thing which the receiver of the IED this time would have to do is to pick it up, put it out at a safe place, and then place it wherever they wanted. And thus, they just had to connect two wires to make it active, and the IED would explode after 10 minutes.
Okay, I wish you all the best and super success this time, sir. Many thanks for joining me here on India First. And before I go to Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu and Sunil Ji Bhatt, I quickly want you to take a look at this next report. India Today's Sandeep Unnithan went to IIT Delhi. Drones, they are a boon, they could well be a bane. Swarm drone technology, effects, and what could India's countermeasures be? We bring you this report.
Tiny little carriers of terror. With nothing but the wind beneath their little rotors. They've signaled a new nightmare for Indian security. We've long been in the age of military drones, but it's the most simple of these unmanned air machines. Tiny little hobby quadcopters that are now the compellers of India's sleepless nights. The monster question: can India stop mini drone warfare, or are we doomed to be overwhelmed? The bad news first. There's no blanket solution, and the literally miniature size of the threat means there's never going to be 100% defense against it. A comprehensive approach is going to be necessary. First things first, traditional air defense radars at our military stations and airports are programmed for large targets like aircraft, helicopters, and bigger drones. If they're calibrated to detect small hobby drones, even birds would set off radar alarms, overwhelming the system and causing chaos and confusion. Apart from sanitization of areas around sensitive installations, specialized equipment does exist to counter drones in flight. But these again are hit or miss, with no guarantee of full protection. As you can imagine, the Indian Air Force and Bureau of Civil Aviation are scrambling to address the threat to installations. Most technologies, including anti-drone jammers and systems, are deployed in the terminal stage of a rogue drone's flight path, the last 100 meters or so, when there's very little reaction time. It would therefore be hard for a defense system to precisely identify a rogue drone's vulnerabilities and then deploy countermeasures. India's own DRDO says that its anti-drone device can bring down micro-drones at a distance of up to 3 kilometers and use lasers to target them from distances of over 1 kilometer away. Another security force operating under the Home Ministry recently imported a high-powered electromagnetic system, which zaps drones with an electromagnetic pulse, causing them to crash. But these systems could not be deployed at airports because of the risk to incoming aircraft. So you begin to see the complications in anti-drone defense. The outlook remains unfortunately bleak. Many existing countermeasures will be powerless against a swarm attack, a pack of drones flying into their targets from multiple directions. The next big scare began in Jammu, for which there are few answers yet. With Sandeep Unithan in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
I quickly want to cut across to Sunil Ji Bhatt and Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu for more on this big story. Kamal, are drones then the next big challenge for our security forces, considering at the line of control infiltration is down, but weapons and IEDs are still being sent across?
Well, Pakistan has always been looking at deniability. They've always changed modus operandi. At one point of time, it was infiltration, then tunnels, and now it is the aerial attack by use of technology, by drones. Artificial intelligence is the next big thing. And obviously, we're looking at areas, and these are borders which now need to be protected with anti-drone technology. Now, Home Minister Amit Shah recently said in a BSF function that they're looking at Make in India technology. We believe that there are interceptors which have been put in place in several of the locations. Anti-drone guns have been deployed in several locations, some of them unidentified, but also at the Air Force Station in Jammu. So clearly, the Indian forces are coming to reality about what is the next lethal step that Pakistan, and remember, state actors and non-state state actors combined together are now utilizing this particular modus operandi.
Yes.
And what is very clear is that there are two methodology. One is to drop the IEDs and have an impact IED, the similar one we've seen in the Air Force Station. The other is the one we saw now, is where there are wrapped IEDs which will be taken by the receiver, as ADGP Mukesh Singh was talking about, and then assembled and utilized at place of choice and target. Clearly, these are worrying signs at this point of time. But as security forces, when prepared with ground intelligence and with combined with the anti-drone technology. Remember, this one was brought in simply down by the AK-47. So yes, it has to be a joint effort by security forces, by the army, the BSF, combined with technical inputs coming in, and that is how India is now going to deal with the next big threat which is the drone threat.
And Sunilji, because this one was apparently a much bigger drone than is usually used. It was able to carry 5 kgs of IED and was programmed to fly back after dropping the payload. This just makes the problem much bigger. What is action being taken on ground, whether it's by the army, the BSF, the other forces that are deployed, including Jammu and Kashmir Police?
Well, Gaurav, since the drone attack that took place on the Indian Air Force's air base station here in Jammu, security review has been done, a thorough security review has been done, and that is why the National Security Guard, NSG, has installed anti-drone system at air base and the airport. But as far as other important military installations are concerned, there now, there is concern among the security agencies that this new drone threat is coming as a big challenge. And that is why we have seen that in the last few weeks, there have been series of important high-level security-related meetings where a strategy was being discussed that how to counter this new threat of drones. But Gaurav, it's a matter of huge concern for the security forces because already there are intelligence inputs that Pakistan is now going to escalate tensions as far as this drone activity is concerned. More drones may be sent in the near future. And that is why we have seen that recently Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat visited Jammu, and he also chaired important security-related meetings where it was discussed that how to counter this new threat.
It indeed is a major threat, especially in times to come. What are effective countermeasures? Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu, Sunilji Bhatt and our team will continue to report on this big story.